What is up, you guys? It's Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion, and welcome back to another video. We're gonna continue on with The Crown, and today we are watching season 5, episode 8, and the episode is entitled Gunpowder. So let's get into it.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, of course.
I wonder if any of you who are watching this recognize some of these people. Who was that man that got out of the car supposed to be?
We are the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. We're Auntie.
We're Auntie.
Why? Because Auntie always knows best.
Yeah, what is the brand identity of the BBC network? Doesn't the BBC not run ads? I'm so interested as an American how that whole television network is set up in the UK, because in America, ABC, CBS, NBC, those networks have very distinct brands. So what is the BBC's thing? Auntie?
I just thought, you're young, you might understand.
This is so relatable.
Switching to satellite would be seen as a betrayal of the national broadcaster by the head of state. And just imagine this place with a huge horrid dish on the roof, like a space.
Oh my god, I'm dying at that image.
I'll see if we could get you that specialist racing channel.
You mean like at the betting shops? With night races from America?
See, that's how you get Elizabeth, always with the horses.
Our king's egg.
Oh, yes, you're right. It does seem to have had better days.
This was such a relatable scene between William and Elizabeth, because the generational gap of how do we use technology is still relevant. It's probably even worse now with social media. Gosh, I can't even imagine how much she knew about computers and the internet. That's so crazy that she lived such a life that saw the evolution of media and technology in that way. Secret love.
I gave her my word that no one would know but us.
Come on, Martin, an interview like this is going to have to go to the Director of News and Current Affairs at least.
Ugh, Martin Bashir.
There are a couple of guys in my house who I think have become new friends.
Good. Well, Mummy might have made a new friend too.
Oh.
But I hope I've become a special friend, and I wanted you to be the first to know.
He hasn't already become a special friend yet?
I just prefer it if you didn't talk to me about this stuff.
Oh.
It's embarrassing. It's hard enough with you being in the news all the time. You're only making things harder.
I mean, the kid's got a point. The relationship and the way she talks to William is not necessarily a typical mother-child relationship. She's confiding in him he's her bestie.
If you can't get there in person, ma'am, you can always catch the highlights on ITV.
Channel 4. Channel 4, that's it.
Oh, see, Elizabeth? You're behind the times. Did she know, about Netflix? I'm just so intrigued by her relation to all of these, different TV networks and, what she does and doesn't know.
Queen was not her normal self today. She was surrounded by some of her dearest friends, yet seemed a little flat.
She, only has one TV network. That's what happens.
It's her 70th birthday coming up.
That's a nice idea.
One of your specials. Show our appreciation.
I'll talk to the Director General.
That's all it took to get her a TV special.
It's the BBC. She's doing it with us because she feels safe, understood, and protected.
And you took advantage of that.
I'd like us to do something for the Queen. Some sort of tribute. About how hard she works and how bloody lucky we are to have her.
He's oh, I'll give her a tribute, all right.
I can see it's an unfashionable line to take, but for better or worse, I believe it is part of the British character to have a monarchy.
See, I was gonna ask that too. How much does the royal family, how much influence do they have over the BBC or over the different networks in the UK? Even still to this day, are certain networks over there notorious for being more pro-monarchy and others for being anti-monarchy? Like, how does that all work? Like, what if they report something that the royal family doesn't like? Like, can the royal family, I don't know, like do something or revoke some sort of like power from those networks? Like, how does it all work over there?
But not Britain.
A new Britain. A different Britain.
Not Great Britain.
It's a very old head versus new head conversation.
You see the monarchy as part of the architecture of this country.
I do.
But more and more people have grown to see it simply as part of the furniture. Something they've grown up with, but not something that can't be rearranged.
Ooh.
I just thought I've been chairman now for almost 10 years, my full term, and I've never asked a thing.
I know. You've been quiet as a mouse, Dukey.
This guy's funny.
That bonfire night thing we discussed. Let's go for it.
See, he got provoked. He got pissed. Wow, everything just seemed to align and work for Martin Bashir, didn't it?
In the first, you said MI5 were watching me, and in the second, you said MI6.
Actually, I think it could be both.
He said there were other inconsistencies.
Oh my god.
Brett's introducing us, and he wants me to have nothing more to do with you.
Oh god, the brother was right.
13 members of the Gunpowder plot in 1605 also almost pulled out at the last minute, and it took the ringleader to encourage them to stick.
Oh my god. Is he supposed to be the ringleader in this?
I think they might have gone to your brother.
No.
Oh my god, he is so full of shit.
That kind of change of heart is just too irrational.
He's playing on her paranoia. I just cannot stand Martin Bashir.
Trying to kill the king?
That's right. Trying to kill the king.
This is like really awkward for him in history class.
Planned by disaffected Catholics to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
So is Diana the traitor? Or is Martin Bashir the traitor?
We're here to deliver the new hi-fi audio equipment.
So they snuck into Kensington Palace. Wow. Damn. That is wild. And no one knew but Diana what was really gonna happen here. Ooh, she's gonna take off the ring. Elizabeth Debicki, they like got her together looking like Diana just there. I feel like for me, for the most part, she's seemed to have a good resemblance to her. Are there gonna be noise issues because of the fireworks?
Your Royal Highnesses.
Damn, while they're all outside like having a merry time. So it seems like they're showing that William is actually getting closer to Queen Elizabeth, like that side of the family. Dang, I had like no idea like the significance of those dates and how they aligned. Like, I mean, pretty poetic, I guess. Hopefully if I ever go back to the UK in my life, crossing my fingers that will happen one day, give me, especially if you're from the UK, I want to know like some recommendations of where to get the best fish and chips. I didn't even have fish and chips the first time I went to the UK, which now that I'm thinking about it, like that's a literal crime that I didn't eat fish and chips. So if you guys have any good recs, leave it in the comments section below.
So it's just through to the bar, right up the stairs, down the long corridor, and it's the fourth door on the right.
If she gave me those instructions, I'd literally get lost. Dang, that's so wild that they like snuck in to do the interview. Dang, the stress.
Look me in the eyes and tell me I'm not going to regret this.
You won't.
Did he though? That's what I want to know.
Plus, the specialist racing channel you wanted, like in the betting shops.
Did you hear that, Mummy?
Really? That's my favourite.
Oh my gosh, wow, this is like a whole new world for her.
It's so sad to see her struggle to understand a medium with which she's inextricably linked. First BBC programme was broadcast from Alexandra Palace. Of course, barely anyone had televisions then. Now that all changed with her coronation.
And I'm pretty sure they like showed this on The Crown.
Ma'am, you've just had a call from the Princess of Wales. She has asked to see you on an urgent matter.
When?
Now.
I should be going.
Oh, I feel so bad for William. He's like so stressed. Oh my gosh. That's so difficult as a kid when you can feel that there's tension within the family. And for William and Harry, that's even more magnetized when you understand and realize like who their family is. It's just, man, I feel for the kid. She's like, so I just did this interview that's like really gonna rock your world and the world, so on palace grounds too.
Mama, thank you for seeing me.
Oh, Mama. Oh my gosh. Mama.
And I expect as a consequence, you're going to think even less of me than you already do.
Why don't I be the judge of that?
Nope.
I've given an interview, rather frank interview, to the BBC.
Why?
Oh my god. I'm dying at this conversation.
What do you imagine I say? Oh, Lord, yes, Diana's awful, a nightmare. What a mistake that was. Not once. Not a single time.
She was very firm there.
All any of us want, Diana, is for you to be happy. And one day to be our next queen.
I'm sure there is a good section of people that were wanting Diana to be queen. I mean, my take on this whole conversation is I feel like there's three sides to every story. There's, in this case, Diana's side, her perspective. There's Queen Elizabeth's side, her perspective. And then there's the truth. I don't know what to make of this, because now I feel like starting really with this season, I watched this show with more skepticism. In the earlier seasons, I was kind of like, yes, this is how it all played out. But now I'm like, is Peter Morgan pro this person or more pro that person? I'm just accepting this as like an interpretation of events. And it seems like, I mean, I think genuinely maybe they both believed in what they were saying. Like Diana probably did feel like she was being shut out from the family. And then maybe Queen Elizabeth did feel like, no, I am trying to defend you. So I think maybe it's just all perspective.
Monday the 20th happens to be our wedding anniversary. 48 years.
Oh, damn. She's like, let me add a little salt to the wound to that.
I'm happy for you. It's what I would have wished for myself.
I do remember though, I forget which episode it is now, but a lot of you guys were like making great points saying that none of this would have happened if they just let Charles marry who he wanted to marry in the first place, which is Camilla. And I agree with that sentiment too. I think I remember saying during that reaction video that it's not fair for this institution to have been mad at Charles and Diana in the way that they were, or disappointed in them in the way that they were, because way back when, Charles and Diana were hesitant to get married, and they were essentially forced to get married when they did for the sake of the crown. So sad, really.
And there it was!
Is this guy gonna lose his job?
I'm here to let you know that the BBC has indeed made a special program.
Tuesday the 14th.
Yes.
The Prince of Wales's birthday.
Oh.
It was the date she insisted the announcement be made.
The Queen touching.
I love how all of these just seem to fall on important dates.
Kill it! This will destroy us!
Look, I simply wanted to let you know the news directly.
See, now I feel like this older man is a very extreme monarchist.
You want all my love and my devotion.
Okay. Dream girls.
I had no doubt that I could love you forever.
We want Beyonce's disco version.
And it's pretty hard to get the support that you need, so suffer alone.
This song choice is so dramatic.
What better way to break down a personality than by isolating it?
Damn. That hit. And that's what Margaret's thinking too.
Did this contribute to the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it's a bit crowded.
Did Charles and Camilla watch this together?
I don't do things the way they do, because I want to connect with people emotionally.
Not them leaving that patient unattended in the background.
What impact do you think the breakdown of your marriage had on Prince William?
It's hard to know the impact just yet. We'll have to wait a few years to see.
You're right.
Yes.
Oh, that sucks. Like, his whole family drama is like literally being played out in the public, and he's at that age when kids talk and they're probably watching it, their parents are watching it. It's so interesting too, because I never really like thought about how her kids may have felt after that interview.
Do you believe Prince Charles will be king?
Charles was always conflicted about it, because I know him so well.
Damn, they're just like running out of the room.
Big limits on him, and I'm not sure how he would cope with that.
What the hell is she doing?
Okay, I'm like low-key living for him having a meltdown. There's a part of me that's like...
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts. But I don't envisage myself ever being queen of this country.
Now, I wonder if, at least based on the way that they're portraying it on the show, if like Diana regrets doing that interview.
Princess Diana hit the airwaves in England tonight talking about her life, her broken marriage, and her future.
Prinzessin Diana verraten hat, dass sie heimlich sozusagen...
Oh my gosh, this is like reminding me. I wonder if this sort of thing happened when Harry did his interview with Oprah. And that's so interesting that he went to an American outlet instead of going to like a British outlet. And I now wonder too, like, did he go to Oprah because like she is Oprah, and did being married to an American have an influence on him going to, you know, an American broadcast network, being interviewed with an American person? And also, did he maybe want to try and do an interview with the British network, but they wouldn't take him after the repercussions of this? So many questions.
I blame myself entirely, and will of course hand in my resignation.
There's no need, Dukey.
There's every need, ma'am.
I'm like, Dukey, calm down. Let's not give up the coin. Oh my god, awkward. Oh, shout out Olivia Newton-John, R.I.P. Yeah, she'll really like that. Wow, I am so interested in this relationship that they have together. Alright, and some post-show thoughts. I really liked this episode. I had no idea about like the logistics behind it in terms of Martin Bashir and his team essentially sneaking onto palace grounds to do the interview, and how certain dates like aligned, and how, you know, the significance of the day that Diana gave the interview with the bonfire holiday. Sorry, I don't really know much about that. I mean, they did try and explain the history behind it. So I feel like the main idea that they were trying to get out there was traitor. So it's like clearly they were trying to make a connection between like Diana being a traitor to the royal family by giving this interview on this holiday that is based around, you know, this traitor. I learned so much. I didn't also realize how much was at stake for the BBC to broadcast this interview. I mean, it does make sense, but it was just something that I never really thought about. And maybe I also just don't think about it because growing up, this idea of like bombshell interview, for me as a consumer, I never thought about the risk that a network would be incurring by broadcasting the interview. Like whenever I hear the term or the phrase bombshell interview, like at least in America, it's like, that's like a, ooh, man, like good job for this interviewer, for this network to land a said interview. It's not like necessarily a bad thing. It's not like, oh man, this could ruin the network, if that makes sense. But yeah, I never really thought about how the BBC doing this interview with Diana was very scandalous at the time. And another thing I never really thought about either was how William would be affected too. I mean, I'm sure Harry as well, but you know, this episode clearly was just focusing on William. I never really thought about that. I like that, and I hope we get to see more of this in future episodes, but I like this introduction of William and Elizabeth starting to develop a closer relationship with each other. I really hope we see more of that developed with future episodes in the future seasons, because you know, it does make sense because she's his grandmother, but it also makes sense in terms of the succession of the crown, because one day he's gonna be king. So I feel like, honestly, it seems with the way they portrayed the initial reactions to the interview, it seems like the only person that was really like, oh yes, I got what I wanted out of this was Martin Bashir. Because he had that like smile on his face. I don't really know if Diana was necessarily happy with the interview. Again, I don't know much, but at least with the way it's being portrayed on The Crown, it seems like she's a little bit regretful because of it. Alright, well, my question for you guys is, I want to know, do you guys think that Diana regretted doing the interview? Because again, like I literally just said, it seems like the scenes where she was like sitting by herself in front of the TV, like watching this interview, she just seemed really sad. But it's like, are you sad about the fact that you gave the interview, or are you sad that like it's gotten to this? Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think Diana regrets doing this interview with Martin Bashir? I don't know if I could fully answer that until I watch the next episode, but for those of you who are very familiar with the story, I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts on that. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, well that's about it for this video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification button down below so you know when a new video from me comes out, and comment down below your thoughts on this episode. Yes, that's pretty much it. As always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all my humble opinion. I will see you guys in the next one. You know, I'm honestly like still really shocked that in order for them to film the interview, they literally snuck on to palace premises to do it. Like, that is wild.